Today we're going to look at Chapter 11, Atlantic South America. Go ahead and copy down these terms and resume the video when you're finished. Let's start by taking a look at the continent of South America. We've already talked about North America here, Central America, and the Caribbean Islands, and Caribbean South America, but now we're turning our attention to Atlantic South America. And this region is made up of four major countries: Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina. All of these countries border the Atlantic Ocean except for Paraguay. Since it is completely surrounded by land, it's what's known as being landlocked. Overall, this region covers 2/3 of South America, and Brazil itself occupies almost half of the entire continent. Now, a major feature within this particular region is the Amazon River Basin. You can actually see the Amazon River from space. The darker blue water right here is part of the river, but then it starts to turn a darker brown color as it gets closer and closer to the ocean. This area, known as the Amazon River Basin, is a giant floodplain. Every year, this river floods, and for almost half of the year, parts that you normally see animals walking along the ground are covered in water. Another major landform in central Argentina is known as the Pampas. And the Pampas is a huge, wide, grassy plains region. They're also a major farming region due to the humid subtropical climate and rich soils, and most of the Pampas is around this region here. Another feature at the very southern tip of the continent lies a cool windswept island called Tierra del Fuego, as you can see it labeled right here. In Spanish, this means land of fire, due to its volcanic activity. The largest mountain range in this area is the Andes Mountains. Now, the Andes extend along the Argentina's border with Chile. So this jagged area between the two countries you see is actually the peaks of the Andes Mountains. The highest peak of the Andes Mountains is Mount Aconcagua, which rises to 22,834 feet. Because of its height, you can see the snow capped on top, while at the bottom of the surface, you can see that it is always going to be green. Here's the actual location of Mount Aconcagua on the map. The world's largest river system is the Amazon River, and it flows eastward across northern Brazil for about 4,000 miles. So it's going to flow towards the east and empty out in the Atlantic Ocean. As you can see in this picture, lots of rivers flow into the Amazon as tributaries. In fact, the numbers rank over hundreds of rivers, but this picture does not show all of them. The Amazon itself carries more water than any other river in the world. The Amazon River empties into the Atlantic Ocean at the Amazon River Delta. Now, a delta is an area where a river starts to branch off and deposits lots of silt and sediments. Another major water feature is an estuary. And one of the biggest estuaries in South America is located here, in the Rio de la Plata. Now, an estuary is where you have a partially enclosed body of water where salty seawater and freshwater mix. So you can see the estuary here is partially enclosed, and fresh water from the river mixes in with the salty seawater here. The Amazon River Basin supports the world's largest tropical rainforest, and rain falls almost every day in this region. As you can see in the pictures here, it is a very, very tropical place, with lots of water and lots of vegetation. Lots of animals reside here as well, including several species of birds, different types of fish. The fish you see here is called the Amazon piranha, Now yes, piranha have the jagged teeth, as you can see in the picture below, but they do not attack people like you see in the movies. Trust me, it does not happen. Piranha usually feast on the fins of other fish, or dead and decomposing fish that are found in the rivers. Sometimes if a larger animal has a cut on its leg and enters the water, piranha might be interested in it, but they're not going to just, take all the meat off the bone like you see in the movies. You'll also find lots of mammals in the Amazon, such as several species of monkeys, and my personal favorite, the three-toed sloth. You'll also find lots of reptiles, including bright, vivid colored frogs, and my least personal favorite, snakes. Now overall, one of the region's greatest resources is the Amazon rainforest itself. It provides a number of things such as food, wood, natural rubber, medicinal plants, and many other products. However, large areas of the forest are being cleared for mining, ranching, and farming. In farming, commercial agriculture is found throughout this region. However, when people plant the same crop over and over again in the same place, it can lead to soil exhaustion, because that particular crop has nutrients that it needs from the soil, and if it uses that nutrients up, the soil's not going to have much left to give, and it's useless. There's lots of mineral resources found here as well, including gold, silver, copper, and iron. There are some oil deposits, but only really in Brazil. You're not going to find oil much else in this region. And due to the large rivers, they harness that energy of the rushing water by providing hydroelectric power to regions. Be prepared for a terrible drawing about that in class. And that's all for Chapter 11. We'll discuss more in class and look at the history of these regions in later days.